Hey all, Siege here, and today, my friends, I want to discuss a concept that is consistently brought up in Destiny 2's Beyond Light campaign that got me wondering if it too might exist in Warframe as well, and may very well show up in some form in the upcoming Duviri paradox Warframe has promised for the future. When that is, I don't know. And if you're watching this in the future and comparing my theory against what actually happens, just know regardless how right or wrong I am, I'm just happy they finally finished the motherfucker. So I think a little context in the story of Beyond Light is in order. I know a bunch of you play both games, whether you want to admit it or not, so you may already be aware of this, but I thought it better if someone more experienced explained it. Take it away, good sir.
Hey, how you been? Little tip, don't go to Europa. It's cold. Real cold.
Thanks for the weather report, Brick, and calm down. Been there plenty of times and it's really not that bad. Now, are you going to tell them the story or just bitch about snow you obviously can't feel as you're literally a resurrected corpse?
I still can't see very well when I'm there.
Tell the story!
All right. Damn, man. A little airtime. Cock. So, first you should know that the pyramids we've been having visions of from the Traveler and leaked concept art, whatever that is, showed up and essentially removed 4 planets from the solar system. Now, these pyramids have always been seen as the main enemy, but curiously enough, they offered us all cold powers. And I have to admit the Warlock and Hunter ones are pretty cool, but mine's basically just a copy of Striker.
You're using darkness powers?
Yeah. Oh, please. With a monsoon of respect, you've got no room to talk there, Glass House, with all those enemies bottled up all over your little ship. Surely nothing can go wrong with that, right?
Look at you, strutting. Righteous. We'll exchange places soon enough.
But you're like made of light. That's like trying to use the One Ring for good. You know, Gandalf said,
Can I finish the fucking story?
If you feel comfortable finishing as a giant hypocrite, be my guest.
See, this is why I never come back onto your show ever. Anyway, after doing this, they told us to come to Europa, and when we meet with the Exo-Stranger, not sure if you remember her, but she wields the darkness, and apparently always has. Truthfully, the reality we see play out in this campaign, according to her, is one of many timelines she has been sent back and forth through, dimensions if you will, and when she comes to the part when all is lost, she ends up in the same place, forced to start over from a specific point in time, and it's always the same scenario.
Like Groundhog Day?
Yes.
I love that movie. Pretty underrated, actually.
Shut your mouth.
It's underrated, that's all.
I don't care. Now, here's where the story spoilers come in. First, the stranger is Elsie Bray. She and Anna Bray are descendants of Clovis Bray, one of the main manufacturers of much of the advanced technology the system thrived on before and even after the original collapse. And whereas everyone believed it was technology gained from the light, we come to find out it's a product of the darkness. Furthermore, we learn that Clovis Bray was a genocidal madman who put research into his technology at the forefront of everything he did, sacrificing whatever he needed to achieve his goals. We also come to learn that in apparently most, if not all of the dark futures the stranger has survived, the darkness wins and is ushered in by Eris Morn herself.
Three-eyed chick, right?
Yes, that's the one. Interestingly enough, everything in our timeline is progressing just like in all those dark futures. The only difference from what the stranger has seen so far is us. The Guardians who accept the darkness in this timeline are able to continue to wield it in a balanced form with the light, rather than allowing it to overtake them completely, as the darkness tends to do. In these other timelines the stranger has experienced, her sister Anna takes the darkness to dominate rather than use it for good. Zavala gives in to his own fear and captures the Traveler using the same tech the Cabal had used, dragging it to the moon and surging his own power in order to combat the evil Eris had become, only to have the Traveler explode into a blast of blinding light before allowing darkness to reign forever. And us, according to her,
beyond ours lies another world, one pervaded by darkness, where Guardians abandoned their light at the call of temptation. In that world, you were no exception.
Only in this current timeline do we exist as anomalies. So now we push forward using both, the light and the darkness, in perfect balance, as all things should be.
Yeah, well, thanks for the story, Thanos. Was that fun?
Fun isn't something one considers when explaining the relevant lore, but this did put a smile on my face.
Well, if it was fun, now you ruined it. Thanks for the assist, though.
No problem at all. And take care, everybody. It's good seeing you.
Is he gone? Okay. Anyway, there's actually a secondary thread he doesn't want to talk about that involves Prince Aldrin Sov, brother to the Queen of the Awoken. Aldrin was the one who killed Cade 6, probably the most beloved guardian of all time, and well, he killed Aldrin.
Can't prove that.
Whatever. Here's the thing. The light brought Aldrin back as a guardian, and guardians have no recollection of who they were before they were resurrected. So now, we come to find him a much gentler creature, being a guardian and helping their cause selflessly. And it got me thinking about our characters in Warframe. We've now seen what I believe to be incontrovertible evidence that some other character in the game is, by all accounts, us. Us from another life, another dimension. Are the Tenno in fact some part of this person, or are we mirrors of each other? Different versions of what might have been. And then I got to thinking, what if this person turns out to be an enemy? I believe familiarity in our appearance would have us assume this other person is good. Even the Tenno tries to help them out. But are they? Furthermore, what relevance will they have to us? What if, after meeting with them for the first time, we don't see eye to eye? Is it impossible to consider they might be a bit jealous at the fact that we have been given so much and they so little? The Tenno have eternal youth and what amounts to magical powers with a cadre of biomechanical warframes at our beck and call. And he doesn't even have a weapon to defend himself. Talk about getting the short end of the stick in the gene pool. I think it's fairly safe to assume this person has lived quite the full life with experiences that are probably much different from the ones our Tenno have had. Maybe our goals don't align. Then what? This concept is somewhat supported by the info we're told regarding the stranger and the guardians who were, in another life at least, not the paragons of virtue and balance the ones in this reality are. Eris Morn isn't the same person. Neither is Zavala, or Anna Bray, or even Clovis Bray, who we come to find out is now our lovable gunsmith, Banshee 44. And because of all that, I wonder if this person will turn out to be an ally in the end. Now, some of you might be thinking to yourself, how could you possibly be at war with yourself? And aside from the fact that we are literally all at war with ourselves every single day, I would ask, especially those watching with a few years under your belt, how would you deal with the younger version of yourself? Would you be supportive? Disappointed? Angry? Happy? Do you still hold all the ideals you championed as a younger person true today? And if not, what would an argument between your two selves be like? Understand that this is essentially a meeting of two very real people, just many years apart. And personally, I can tell you a conversation with my former self would be disappointing for both of us for a myriad of reasons I really don't want to even get into. It's funny, actually. I see in this world people anxious to cancel others for things they've done in the past, and while I think the past can be a very good indicator of future behavior, I think it's also very important to gauge the person's performance since those incidents, something that typically gets conveniently left out of the conversation. I'm going to tell you all a truth right now you might not know. There are no good or bad people. We are all basically just a blank slate, making good or bad choices. And even then, good and bad are floating concepts. If a person who abhors murder and murderers slaughters a building full of convicted killers, have they done a good thing? Or just become the very thing they hated? Conversely, the one who does nothing as a helpless person screams for assistance, are they evil or just minding their business, given that they don't know the full situation regarding said screams for help? Who is this person? What are their motives? Will I get in trouble if I help? All things that would most likely cross a person's mind in this situation, given the climate of the day. And in this, I think we have the crux of really all the characters in our story so far. Each and every one. The Stranger, Eris Morn, Zavala, Clovis Bray, Anna Bray, the Tenno's older self, the Tenno's doppelganger, this idiot here.
Hey,
Me, you, we're all the hero of our own stories. But that doesn't mean we're necessarily fighting for the righteous. And I think if you look deep enough into each of the characters in these games, miscalculations made out of fear are almost always the culprit. There's only one true way to overcome fear, and that is by understanding the thing you fear. Once this has been achieved, fear tends to go away, and the mind, now devoid of the cloud of panic and anxiety, can analyze information rationally and clearly. Still doesn't guarantee perfection, but makes decision-making a whole lot easier. And I wish I could tell you this is something you can get from someone else, but you got to do it for yourself. The only ones in the Guardian story who were not overcome by their fear were those that confronted it and came to understand it as a synergy within their already accumulated selves. Never stopping being a guardian of the light, just being this too. The rest were all consumed by their fear. Personally, there's some things in the past I'm not necessarily proud of, and I'm fortunate that social media barely existed at the time. Doesn't change the fact that they happened, but I have to say, had they not happened, and I didn't feel the sting of those actions, would I be who I am today? I don't think so. And you know what? I've been on the receiving end of it as well, so I know that aspect just as famously. It is what it is, but I will say, if someone became a better person, and them realizing they mistreating me was the catalyst of it, I gotta take that as a win in my book. And I'd make that trade again, too. That's my karma. Now, the purpose of the video today was not to lecture you all. It was more so to show what fear of a thing can lead to. If you're worried about a thing in your own life, learn everything you can about it. Not just what others say about it. Look for the sources, the truth. The Guardians learned that the darkness was not to be feared, but assimilated into the greater whole, much like that of the yin-yang. See, in the darkness, there's always a little bit of light, and in the light, there's always a little bit of darkness. They are both equal parts of us all, and because of that, our choices are what truly define us. They, and they alone, make us who we are. You'll never truly know a person until you know them. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and it got you thinking a little about the Duviri paradox, and that we don't know this guy, no matter how closely he may resemble us. But I am excited to find out, to make my own judgment on him, once I understand him. Might be good advice all around if you ask me. At any rate, I hope you all have a wonderful day today, a wonderful rest of your week, and I wish you all the most glorious of 2021s. You all kind of deserve it. I just hope we can all catch a break. So take care, everybody, and I'll talk at you on the next one. Bye.